Sparky the donkey lived in a lush green meadow, known for his stubbornness and surprisingly melodious hee-haws. He spent his days munching on sweet clover and avoiding the grumpy farmer, Old MacDonald. One day, while exploring beyond the meadow's edge, Sparky stumbled upon a hidden cave. Peeking inside, he saw a sight that made his ears twitch. A tiny, shimmering dragon, no bigger than his hoof. The dragon, whose name was Flicker, had scales that shifted from emerald to sapphire and a tiny, cinnamon-scented breath puff. Flicker was lost and scared. Sparky, despite his reputation, had a kind heart. He carefully nudged Flicker out of the cave with his nose. Flicker, initially hesitant, nuzzled Sparky's leg. Sparky felt a surprising warmth spread through him. He'd never had a friend before. Not a real friend. He decided to help Flicker find his way home. They set off, Sparky's long ears swishing. Flicker perched on his back, his tiny claws gently gripping Sparky's thick fur. Their journey took them through whispering forests, past babbling brooks, and over rolling hills. Flicker, despite his small size, guided them with surprising accuracy, his tiny voice pointing out landmarks only he seemed to recognize. Along the way, they encountered a grumpy badger who grumbled about the noise, a family of playful squirrels who chattered excitedly, and a wise old owl who hooted words of encouragement. Sparky, usually shy and quiet, found himself chatting with the animals, his hee-haws sounding more like happy chuckles. Flicker, in turn, shared stories of his family's hidden valley, a place filled with sparkling waterfalls and mountains of candy-colored rocks. They shared berries, Sparky carefully plucking the juiciest ones for Flicker, who in return warmed Sparky's ears with his cinnamon-scented breath. As the sun began to set, they finally reached a majestic mountain range. Flicker pointed towards a narrow opening, hidden behind a waterfall. He hopped off Sparky's back and, with a final, brave puff of cinnamon-scented smoke, flew into the hidden valley. Sparky watched as Flicker disappeared, a tiny speck against the vast mountainside. He felt a pang of sadness, but it was quickly replaced by a warmth that spread through his heart. He'd made a friend, a real friend, and that was more precious than any sweet clover he'd ever tasted. The next day, Sparky returned to the meadow, his heart lighter than ever. Old MacDonald was surprised to see Sparky so cheerful. He even gave Sparky an extra large portion of clover. From that day on, Sparky wasn't just a stubborn donkey. He was a donkey with a kind heart and a secret friendship with a tiny, cinnamon-scented dragon. He continued to explore the meadow's edge, always hoping for a glimpse of his friend Flicker. And sometimes, on quiet evenings, when the wind blew just right, he could almost smell the sweet scent of cinnamon, a reminder of his incredible adventure and the magic of friendship.